Okay, I'm bleeding the rear brakes on this thing. It had fluid in it, but looked kind of yellowish, which would lead me to believe that it wasn't .5 in here. It should be. It's supposed to be .5. They didn't change to .3 or .4 until 05, 04, 05, somewhere in there. Sportster's 05, I think. But because it's yellowish and it kind of smells like .3, I wanted to suck it all out of there. It's out. Now we're going to put fresh .5 in here and suck it all the way through. That should be enough right there. When you see you're sucking the fluid out of the hose here, and I'm using a vacuum, air-powered vacuum canister there to get it out. You can use a mighty vac, or you can sit there and pump it out. We want to make sure we've got it all out. Vacuum's probably the best way to do it. You don't have to do it that way, but it sure as hell makes it easier. I replaced mine. I had a Vacula before, Mac Vacula, big vacuum canister, and sold that thing probably, I don't know, when I had a stroke, so 5 years ago, basically, about that. Sold a bunch of shit I shouldn't have sold, and did because I didn't know if I'd be doing anything ever again. So I just bought a cheapo, not even that he makes it, got it on Amazon, but thing works. It's, I can't even read that damn thing. Crack this bleeder closed. Pumping air through the bleed back hole, that's okay. It's a lot harder doing the rear because master cylinder is lower than the caliper, so you're having to push air uphill, which makes it a little harder. But if you push on it and let it spring back by itself, it'll help draw the air out of it back to the master cylinder. This is the caliper that was questionable for this rear one. Of course, the front one looked about the same, but it actually worked. Let me crack this bleeder right here on the master cylinder. Got lots of fluid out. Didn't really don't have any more air bubbles. Let me crack it back at the bleeder over. Yeah, I heard air. Level's going down. I think I'm going to jack this thing up so I can tell when it's starting to grab. I think we got some now. I got a little bit of air coming back out of the, if you see the bubbles coming back through the bleed back hole. Oh yeah. You need to make sure that this thing retracts too. Let me slap a jack up under this thing so I can spin the rear wheel. Okay. Jack's under there. Spin the rear wheel a little bit. Oh yeah, it's catching pretty good. Just off past the free play, which is what you want. And that's about it. The only thing I have to watch out for, like I said, the caliper was questionable on this thing. Is you have to take it, ride it kind of slow, use your rear brake, and keep an eye on it to make sure it's not locking up. If it's locking up, I have to take the caliper off, take it apart, and put new seals in it, maybe polish pistons, maybe put new pistons in it. You'll be able to tell you ride a little bit, then you feel the rotor. And if it's extremely hot, you probably need to stop, let it cool off. I had one do it on a different bike. I was going to the beach one time and going down the road. This wasn't even on a Harley, this was on a Ducati. Going down the road and doing like 60 miles an hour, and I look down and I'm doing like 45, and I know I didn't let off the throttle. Got the same amount of throttle, and then I'm trying to gas it to catch up speed again. And the more I rev it, the slower the bike's going. So about that time it hit me, pull the clutch in and pull over the side of the road. And by the time I got stopped, it was just then locking up the rear wheel. I stopped and sat there and didn't have any tools with me. I could tell the rear rotor was screwed up, and pistons locked up in the caliper. Ended up caliper was screwed. It warped, damn little last Ducati caliper on the rear. It warped pretty easily, fairly quick. Didn't have any tools with me, so I had a pocket knife. I always carry a pocket knife. I cut the rear brake line in two. Let it sit there for a little bit and cool off, and got back on it and rode the rest of the day with no rear brake. That was in the morning. I didn't get home till like 1 o'clock in the morning. I went to the Outer Banks, and I was going to Wilmington and got to Wilmington and said, man, I don't want to go to the beaches down here, so I turned left down at Wilmington and ended up going to Ocracoke Island and then Hatteras, and then back through, I think I came back down 64, Route 64. And like I said, didn't get home till probably 1 o'clock in the morning. But keep an eye on it. If the brake's questionable, keep an eye on it to begin with. Like '04, and you can't go by what's on top of the cap here, because a couple of years there they were still using .5 caps on stuff that obviously had .4 in it. Let's top this thing off, and you don't want your fluid level too high here. That's about good right there. You get it too high, and it's got no room to breathe in there, so you can cause it to lock up right there. Just by not having any breather space in there. And you want to make sure that you have your free play right. You can set the lever here, you adjust the rod and raise the lever up or down wherever you want it. These things basically don't have a free play adjustment in them anymore. It's just free play is built into the master cylinder, so you can't really screw that up. Well, I guess somehow you could, but that should be all the free play you need right there. And the lever starts getting hard right there, so that's good. Just remember, .5, don't mix .3 and .5 together, or .4 and .5. 3 and 4 are basically the same. A little bit different boiling point, but they're both glycol based. .5 is silicone based. Silicone and glycol don't mix. You end up with a jelly kind of soupy looking stew kind of stuff in your brake system, which it'll screw up every damn thing in your brake system. As far as then you need new seals, new rubber brake line, master cylinder rebuild, caliper rebuild, everything. if you mix them together. So don't mix them together. If you're not sure what's in there, you can run some denatured alcohol through there, which is also, I think they call it camp stove fuel. Same thing. That kind of emulsifies the mixture and you suck it out. So don't mix 3 and 4. Don't mix those with 5 and vice versa. You know, just because it says so on the cap that it's dot 5, don't take that for granted. That it is dot 5. Because I've seen people buy these little chrome caps like that and put them on their bike, and they buy them used or whatever, and they say dot 5 on them, and even brand new. They just go up to the wall in the Harley place and grab one, and it'll fit on there, but it'll say dot 5, so they, you know, next person that sees it says, well, it says dot 5 on there. It must take dot 5, and they'll mix it together. So don't do that. Front brakes feel good. Got new pads in there, new pads front, new pads rear. Brake fluid, new in the front, dot 5, new in the rear, dot 5. Let's go get some other stuff done here. All right, you guys take care. Appreciate you watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and hopefully we'll have this thing running tomorrow. I was shooting for today, but I had to go take a nap. Got hot out here earlier. I went and took a nap and went to sleep for basically about 3 or 4 hours. I didn't plan on sleeping that long, but that's how long I slept. So it is what it is. All right, take care. Thank you.